Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, and I'm going to do this lesson on Hear the Sound of the Trumpet. And I'm going to start it off with Leviticus 23, verse 23 through 25, and it reads, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and a holy convocation. 25. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So the Lord wanted us to come together and do a holy convocation for the blowing of trumpets. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Joel. I'm going to go to chapter 2, and I'm going to read verse 1, and it reads, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So when we go out on every Shabbat and we blow, we're actually blowing the trumpets. We're going out to warn the people, to wake them up, to let them know they need to come back to their heritage, to let them know they need to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments before Yahweh Shai cracks that sky. So what we're doing is blowing the trumpet. And from there, I'm going to go down to verse 15 in the same chapter of Joel 2. And I'm going to read 15, and it reads, Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. So he's telling us to blow the trumpets, and we know that when we fast, it moves the Most High to get our prayers answered. But he wants us to do an assembly. He wants us to do that holy convocation. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 81, verse 3 through 6. Psalms 81. Past it. Psalms 81. A big study Bible. Psalms 81, verse 3 through 6. And it reads, Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Verse 4, For this was a statute for Israel and a law of the God of Jacob. Verse 5, This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. Verse 6, because we were in captivity and we weren't speaking that language. We weren't Hamites, so we spoke Hebrew. Verse 6, I removed his shoulder from the burden, his hands were delivered from the pot. So he's talking about how he removed us out of that captivity. And from there, I'm going to jump down to verse 8 and read to verse 16 in the same chapter. And it reads, Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto thee, O Israel. If thou wilt hearken unto me, there shall no strange God be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange God. Verse 10, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. So he's saying we need to open our mouth so that we can eat this roll, eat the words. That's what he was telling Ezekiel, to eat the whole roll. This is what he will fill our mouths with, is this living water. Verse 11, But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. Said they would, because our people were hard-headed, even until this very hour, and stiff-necked. Said they would none of him. Verse 12, So I gave them up unto their own hearts lust, and they walked in their own counsels. So he let everyone go according to their ways and according to the fruit of their doings. Verse 13, O that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. So now Yahweh is speaking, saying if they would have just listened to him and kept his law, statutes, and commandments. Verse 14, I should soon have subdued their enemies and turn my hand against their adversaries. So this is the thing that our people don't realize. If they come back to the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, the Lord is going to fight for us. He's going to fight the battle for us, because the battle isn't ours, it's the Lord's. Verse 15, the haters of the Lord should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever. So he's saying we would have just continued on top, like when he told us through Moses in Deuteronomy. We would have the blessings. We would have continued to be on top, the head, and not the tail. And it would have just kept going on and on forever. We would have just kept keeping the laws. Verse 16, he should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee. So this is what see, his word, like David was saying, it's like sweet as honey. And everything we need is in the scriptures. Because all we have to do is seek ye first the kingdom and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto us, the Lord said. Through Christ. That's Christ's words. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. And we all know this precept, but this is what we have to do when we go out. He said, cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. So our voice is like a trumpet when we go out on the highways and the hedges. So we have to lift it up. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. This Apostle Paul. And it reads, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So he said, many are called, but few are chosen. He's been calling all of his people out of all the 12 tribes, but a lot of them are just refusing to hearken, and they're pulling back the shoulder. And what a lot of our people don't realize is if they listen, we would be out of this captivity. He would smash all of our adversaries if they just start keeping the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. This is why these other nations want to keep our people in sin. This is why our people should be able to see it. They want you to eat the pork. They want you to eat lobster. They want you to eat the shrimp. They want you to do the pagan days, do Easter and Thanksgiving, because it'll keep them ruling. If we keep the laws, Yahweh Shai is going to take care of the adversaries. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel 33. And I'm going to read verse 1 through 6. And it reads, again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman, verse 3, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, verse 4, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. See, this person, he got the warning, he heard the words of God, and he rejected it. But the blood will be off of the watchmen's hands, the ones that are bringing that word. Verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. And the ones that take heed and hearken and listen, then they're going to deliver their soul. Verse 6, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands. So he commanded us to do this, to go out to the highways and the byways. Because if we don't, the blood is on our hands. And from there, I'm going to go to Ezekiel chapter 2. Ezekiel chapter 2. And I'm going to just read verse 3 through 6. And that reads, And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation, that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children, and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. And they, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. So the Lord is saying, some of them may hear, and some may forbear, may not hear. But they're going to know that a prophet was amongst them. And the Lord is telling us that they're going to be very rebellious. And this is why it shouldn't be a surprise when you get the haughty looks or get those impudent eyes, because the Lord warned us about these things. He said all these things were going to happen. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Jude. The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 22 to 23. And it reads, And of some have compassion, making a difference. 23. And others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. So some people we have to save, we have to have compassion. And some people you can conversate, and some you may have to lift your voice like a trumpet and save them with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garments that are spotted by the flesh. So this is what it says. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Amos. Book of Amos, chapter 3. Amos chapter 3, verse 6 through 7. And it reads, Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? Verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So he always, any time before he destroyed any dynasty or any powerful kingdom or nation, he sent the prophets out to warn the people first, and then he brought down that nation. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, and verse 20. So this blowing of trumpets is about warning our people. This is something that we were doing back then, and it was something we're supposed to continue doing now. And it reads, Nehemiah 4, verse 20. In what place, therefore, ye hear the sound of the trumpet, resort ye thither unto us. Our God shall fight for us. So the Lord is saying our God, Yahweh, will fight for us. He's gonna do all the fighting for us. And from there, I'm going to go to 2 Chronicles, chapter 20, and verse 15. 2 Chronicles 20. Second Chronicles 20 and verse 15. And that reads, And he said, Hearken ye all Judah. He was talking to the head tribe, which was Judah, but because that's the head tribe, but he was really trying to reach all of Yasharallah. All Judah and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. That's the rest of them. The northern and the southern kingdom. And thou King Jehoshaphat, thus saith the Lord unto you, Be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude. For the battle is not yours, but Yahweh's. So see, here it is again. He's saying the battle isn't ours. See, the Lord is saying the same thing through the dispensations of times of these different prophets. There's no new thing under the sun. There's just a lot of people, they just forgot who they are. So we have to wake them up. That's why Yahweh Shai said to wake up, sleepers, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give thee light. So we have to get this right. We have to understand that we have to do the memorial of trumpets and the new moons. We have to continue doing the holy days that he gave us, not these holidays that the heathens and all of our adversaries who hate us gave us. And with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.